years in the Navy
Oh, okay.
as an officer in the Pacific, and served a year and a half on an admiral staff in San Diego, which was pretty good duty. And then I spent a couple years on an aircraft carrier in the Pacific.
Okay. Any special duties in particular?
Well, yes, I was a communications officer, and we had a top secret cryptographic clearance. So we broke during this time, which was would have been 1956 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of crises in the world, including one in Westpac that's going on right now with China. And I was part of a task group that sailed around the Straits of Taiwan for 45 days as a show of force to China, which was getting ready to take over two offshore islands that belonged to Formosa. And they didn't recognize Taiwan at the time. We had a SEATO treaty with them. So we came pretty close to going to war with them. So we broke all the top secret messages that went to the admiral who was aboard. It's a very interesting time.
Wow, that would be. So when did you meet your wife?
Well, that's an interesting story too, because I graduated from OCS right before Christmas, 1956. And my brother had just gotten out of the Air Force in the Judge Advocate General's office. He was an attorney and went to his first job was in Kansas City, a law firm there. And on the way home, I stopped to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was living in a bachelor apartment, which was pretty neat, and dating a girl who eventually became his wife. And so she fixed me up on a blind date with a girl who was a friend of her family.
Right.
And it was kind of, she was at the time, what was she, a junior, I guess, in college at the University of Illinois, and home for the holidays.
Right.
And we really kind of clicked. And it just so happened that one of her best friends was marrying one of my fraternity brothers from U of M from Kansas City the next night.
Oh.
And Marty was a bridesmaid in the wedding, and Howard was a fraternity brother of mine, so I said, I think I'll just go to the wedding.
Right.
So we had 2 nights together, two evenings together,
Right.
And that's how it got started. And then she was still in school, so about every 6 months or so, either in the summertime or between semesters or something, we'd get together. And I saw young families in the service and the problems they had, especially in the Navy when you were gone long.
Right.
There's no good in getting married at that time if you're in the Navy. So I had sowed a lot of wild oats in 4 years. But by then she had graduated and was working in Dallas, where her sister and brother-in-law lived. And I got ready to come home. And so I called and I got a hold of her roommate.
Right.
And she says, well, Mike May, I remember your name. She says, I haven't heard from you very much. I said, well, what's Marty doing? He says, Mike May, if you're really interested, you better get here pretty quick. I said, oh, really? I said, something happening? She says, I'll just tell you, you need to get here. So,
whoa.
Long story short, on the way home, I made a detour to Dallas to see her, and this was right before Thanksgiving. I said, "What are you going to?" I knew what was available in Bartlesville,
Right.
so I said, "What are you going to do New Year's?" "Well, I'm going back to Kansas City, and our whole old group is getting together at the country club." I said, "Well, how would you like to go out New Year's?" So we made a date for New Year's Eve, and I proposed at the stroke of midnight.
Oh,
New
how
Year's Eve.
sweet.
And
That's wonderful.
it lasted 50 and a half years.
Wow, that's great.